Well, well.
From classic tales of princesses to modern adaptations with a twist, there's no shortage of TV shows that bring many of our favorite fairy tales to life. With their captivating storytelling and stunning visuals, they offer a fresh perspective on timeless fairy tales that have captured our imaginations for generations. Join us on a journey through enchanted forests, magical kingdoms, and mystical realms with these 10 best TV shows about fairy tales. Keep in mind that this countdown features only live-action series, and that the shows in this video are listed in no particular order. With that disclaimer out of the way, this is TV Show Pilot, and here are our top 10 TV shows about fairy tales. Once upon a time.
Promise to take this man to be your husband and love him for all eternity.
I do.
I now pronounce you husband and wife.
Once Upon a Time is how a lot of fairy tales that we know start, making it the best possible title for a TV show chock full of fairy tale references. From Snow White to Captain Hook, the Wicked Witch of the West to the Evil Queen, and even more recent favorites like Elsa and Anna from Frozen, ABC's Once Upon a Time is an absolute classic when it comes to the creative use of fairy tales as a basis for its characters. This show is less about modern retellings of the stories we know and love, instead, using the characters of these tales to tell a new and modern story. Set in the fictional town of Storybrooke in Maine, its residents are primarily ageless fairy tale characters who've had their memories erased by the Evil Queen. The protagonist, Emma Swan, who later turns out to be the daughter of Snow White and Prince Charming, is the only one who can break the curse and save them all. Once Upon a Time in Wonderland.
One at a time. Her Majesty demands order.
The water supply's running out.
My crops are dying.
From the title itself, Once Upon a Time in Wonderland is a direct spin-off from the previously mentioned show. Wonderland first served as one of the expanded settings for the parent series, and then became the primary realm for this short-lived spin-off. ABC's Once Upon a Time in Wonderland ventures off on its own story, featuring many beloved characters from Lewis Carroll's novels, namely Alice, the White Rabbit, the Cheshire Cat, the twins Tweedledum and Tweedledee, the Queen of Hearts, and even the Caterpillar. After Alice experiences heartbreak with the supposed death of her true love Cyrus, she returns home to Victorian England, only to be placed in an asylum, where she's subjected to treatments aimed at making her forget all the whimsical adventures from her time in Wonderland. However, not all is as it seems, as she's brought back to Wonderland by Knave of Hearts and the White Rabbit to fight against the various dangers of Wonderland and save her one true love. The Charmings.
Stereo remote control, cable-ready console TV.
Be careful, Eric. It looks dangerous.
Before Edward Kitsis and Adam Horowitz dreamed up Once Upon a Time for ABC, the network had another fairy tale-inspired series back in the late 80s. Titled The Charmings, the show, as you might deduct from its title, centers on Snow White and Prince Charming, who get magically transported to 1980s Burbank. Now the two fairy tale characters have to adapt to living in California in the 20th century, which includes getting a job, raising kids, and being your typical suburban family. All while the wicked stepmother is watching them through a magic mirror located in the second story of their home. The 10th Kingdom. If you like the mishmash of fairy tale characters that you can see on Once Upon a Time, then you'll also like The 10th Kingdom, a mini-series from Hallmark Entertainment. The story starts in the Nine Kingdoms, where the evil queen frees a half-wolf prisoner from the Snow White Memorial Prison and asks him to go to New York City, aka the 10th Kingdom, and find Snow White's grandson, Prince Wendell, who was turned into a dog and accidentally went through the magic mirror portal. But while in New York City, Wolf falls in love with a headstrong waitress named Virginia. And together with her father, Tony, the trio goes back to the Nine Kingdoms to help save the realm and all the fairy tale characters that inhabit it from the rule of the evil queen. Tell me a story. The Vampire Diaries creator Kevin Williamson and star Paul Wesley teamed up once again in this anthology series for CBS All Access. Tell Me a Story tells a different narrative with each of its 2 seasons, and each narrative is a combination and modern retelling of 3 classic fairy tales, but with a dark, psychological thriller twist. As is pretty common with anthology series, some cast members return each season, and with Tell Me a Story, both Paul Wesley and Danielle Campbell are familiar faces. Season 1 is set in present-day New York City and tells a dark tale with plot lines from The 3 Little Pigs, Little Red Riding Hood, and Hansel and Gretel, while Season 2 focused on the 3 princesses from Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, and Beauty and the Beast. Emerald City.
Where am I? I don't know where I am.
Io si o kier mun jakin. Ilano inju. In mona.
While L. Frank Baum's Oz book series is less of a fairy tale and more of an entire magical universe, like Westeros or Middle-earth for children, it's definitely extensive enough to build a whole new TV series around. That's exactly what NBC did with Emerald City, which, as we know, is the capital city of the Land of Oz itself. The show starts off similarly to the story we're all familiar with. Dorothy gets caught up in a tornado in Kansas and is mysteriously transported to the Land of Oz. When she arrives, she finds that she must make her way to Emerald City and find the wizard so she can go back home. And although we don't get to see the Lion, Scarecrow, or the Tin Man, the Wicked Witches of the West and North are still central to the story, despite magic being outlawed by the wizard in this adaptation. Sadly, Emerald City was cancelled after just 1 season. Tin Man.
The emerald or not? Where's my emerald?
A different reimagining of Baum's The Wizard of Oz came in 2007 in the form of Sci-Fi Channel's 3-episode miniseries Tin Man, starring Zooey Deschanel and Alan Cumming. This Emmy Award-winning series follows DG, a small-town waitress who gets pulled into Outer Zone, aka OZ, a magical realm ruled by sorceress Azcadelia. Now, DG has to journey through OZ to save the realm from Azcadelia's rule and discover where she really comes from. Along the way, DG meets former Queen's advisor Glitch, telepath Ra, and former law enforcer Kane, who help her find the Emerald of the Eclipse and stop Azcadelia's plans to cover OZ in permanent darkness. Grimm. Fairy tales continue to take a darker turn with this next show, although it hardly comes as a surprise considering the stories and characters are based on tales from the Grimm brothers, some of which are dark enough on their own. NBC's Grimm is set in modern-day Portland and tells its story from the lens of a supernatural police drama. Detective Nick Bernhardt from the Portland Police Department discovers that he's a descendant from a long line of Grimms, supernatural guardians tasked with protecting the world against a group of dangerous mythological creatures called Vessen. He's the only one who can see them, but luckily, he doesn't have to work alone. Nick's partner, Detective Hank Griffin, and his Vessen friend Monroe are there to help. There are a lot of Vessen species introduced throughout the 6 seasons of this show, so make sure you pay close attention. Beauty and the Beast.
No. Catherine.
The Beauty and the Beast fairy tale is a classic, so it's no wonder it's been adapted so many times. And as our next TV series, we have one of these adaptations, CBS's Beauty and the Beast, that premiered in 1987 and lasted for 3 seasons. The show centers on Catherine Chandler, who's rescued by Vincent, a half-man, half-beast living in the tunnels below New York, after being mistaken for somebody else and getting abducted and beaten within an inch of her life. With the help of Vincent and the rest of his hidden community, Catherine is nursed back to health and falls in love with Vincent in the process. So when Catherine returns to the surface, she changes her life and becomes an assistant district attorney determined to find the men who attacked her. But with the new position also comes new dangers. Luckily, Catherine and Vincent share a psychic bond, so Vincent is able to sense when Catherine is in danger and comes to her rescue anytime she needs saving. Beauty and the Beast.
You saved my life. Twice.
Who knew that fairy tales and cop shows would mix so well? Because similarly to Grimm and, in some aspects, also Once Upon a Time, this next fairy tale-inspired series is also a police procedural mixed with some mystery and sci-fi elements. Loosely based on the previously mentioned 1987 series, Beauty and the Beast is an updated version of the famed fairy tale. The show follows NYPD detective Catherine Chandler, who meets Vincent Keller, an ex-soldier running from a secret government organization that faked his death and turned him into a mechanically enhanced beast. Over the 4 seasons of the show, we see the two fall in love while searching for answers to secrets surrounding their pasts. Shelley Duvall's Fairy Tale Theater.
Hello, Godmother.
Finally, Shelley Duvall's Fairy Tale Theater is a bonus show we just couldn't leave out of this video about best fairy tale TV shows. As the name suggests, Fairy Tale Theater was created by actress Shelley Duvall, who had an idea of doing a live-action fairy tale anthology series while reading The Frog Prince during the filming of the movie Popeye. The show consisted of 27 episodes and managed to adapt 25 popular fairy tales, including those by the brothers Grimm and Hans Christian Andersen. Famed directors such as Tim Burton and Francis Ford Coppola directed some of the episodes, and many of them also featured famous Hollywood actors and other celebrities. Fairy Tale Theater is often touted as one of the first original TV shows for a cable network, so it's well worth a watch. Do you agree with our picks for the top TV shows about fairy tales? Let us know in the comments. Check out tvshowpilot.com for the full list of the best fairy tale series. And don't forget to subscribe to the TV Show Pilot YouTube channel for more videos like this.